Where to even begin with this type of topic? Now, I'll be honest, I know Leafs fans kind of hate my channel. If you are a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs, you might not like what I've had to say about your hockey team the past few months. We made videos talking about how you guys were broken at the start of the season, talking about how it got worse, how Marner, how Matthews, how Tavares, these guys weren't picking it up, and how it was really disappointing after how things had gone in the playoffs last year against the Montreal Canadiens, plus the added layer of the documentary being there made things a lot worse. Toronto was in a panic when it came to the Maple Leafs, and this season, and the way it began, did not placate those worries whatsoever. Which is why we made videos talking about how the Leafs were just absolutely abysmal, how they were absolutely, not even barely meeting the expectations. They were going out there and setting new lows with the amount of losing and inadequate play that they were providing. We made the videos, everybody said their piece, and even though I had some Leafs fans saying, hey, Lego, you can't just go out there, start making videos hating on the Leafs, yada yada yada, there were a good chunk of Leafs fans that agreed, and said consistent things in the comments like, yeah, this team is really underperforming, like it's concerning seeing how poorly they're playing right now. And who knows if something drastic is going to happen, whether there's a Marner trade, or a Tavares trade, or a Nylander trade, or something. And to be fair, there was no Marner trade, there was no Tavares trade, there was no Matthews trade. They're still here on this team. It's just, if you take a look at where the Maple Leafs are today versus where they were a few weeks into 21-22, dude, this is kind of the best case scenario, isn't it? So if you go over to the NHL standings, at the time of recording this audio, the Toronto Maple Leafs are currently first in the entire National Hockey League in points with 42 points in 30 games played. They are the first team to 20 wins on the year. And sure, their point percentage metric is not first. They're actually 6 if you go by total points percentage because they have the most games played out of all of these top teams. But lo and behold, 42 points on the season. They have gone from a very terrible start that had everybody in Toronto freaking out. Okay, what do they need to do? A trade, a firing, stick with the route? What do you do here? You stuck it through, and now you're first in the league. Equinox. Now, I get it, it's only been 30 games, and things can turn around as quickly as they did at the beginning of the season. Right now, for any of these teams, anybody can get hot, anybody can get cold. A team like Toronto can go out there and start pulling off an Edmonton, where they start losing games and their best players stop producing. That's kind of what Toronto had happen to them at the beginning of the season, but regardless, this kind of does play into the game we saw of the Maple Leafs the other night. And we already talked about this game earlier on in today's show, but Toronto versus Edmonton. It is a 5-1 Toronto win on the road. Edmonton just cannot go out there and do the thing properly. They stop scoring, they stop playing, and Toronto goes out there with a double goal performance from Auston Matthews. You could kind of feel just the vibes in the building, there was a jersey thrown out there on the ice, which is absolutely mind-boggling considering the fact that the Oilers, even though they have been struggling, they still do have two of the most talented hockey players in the entire world just going on a little bit of a slump at the same time. And I know you never want to see star players go out there and do that, but there still is that aspect of Oilers fans are getting to see two of the best players in the world. Any team in the NHL would kill to have these two guys on their team. They've been at the top of the league in points for the entire time, except for lately, and because of a little bit of a slump, now the jersey gets thrown. Aside from that, though, there was indeed the 2-goal night from Auston Matthews. The first goal that he scored was not really a good one. It's just kind of bouncing around in front. Tavares is on the puck in the crease, and he's trying to center it out. It goes over to the side, and Auston Matthews is there. He buries it. His second of the night, though, was an absolute beauty. As the Maple Leafs keep the puck in the Oilers' zone, it is a really good keep at the line by Ondrej Kase. He throws the puck up to Auston Matthews, who walks right in, and he is beyond the hash marks at this point. He is far away from the net, but he holds it to the far forehand, looks at the net, and he just absolutely snipes it in the way Auston Matthews is able to snipe it. He is so good at shooting the puck. He's at 20 goals on the year, meaning that he is now one of the top goal scorers in the entire NHL. He is not the top. That honor belongs to Leon Draisaitl, who has 23 goals. Ovechkin has 21 goals. Matthews is at 20. But if you go out there and look at some of the statistics of Auston Matthews and what he has done so far, he is right now on a 10-game point streak with 13 goals and 5 assists during that streak. He is almost at 2 points a game in the last 10 games. Pretty solid, if I do say so myself. Over a goal a game in that span as well. You take a look at this right here. Leon Draisaitl had a 10-goal lead on Auston Matthews, who had 10 goals entering the month of December. We're 2 weeks into the month, as it's now the 16th, and Matthews has narrowed that gap to just 3. So, you want to talk about how Leon Draisaitl and Connor McDavid have started to struggle? Yeah, they've been really starting to struggle, and it hasn't been pretty. So, this team, Edmonton, we already talked about them, by the way. Go ahead, check out the earlier video if you want to see the takes about that and Alex Ovechkin. But Auston Matthews coming up from behind over here on the NHL goal-scoring race. He is just behind Ovi now, just behind Leon, and taking a look at the goals right here, he became the second player in Maple Leafs history to start his career with 20 or more goals in each of his first 6 seasons with the franchise, with the other being Dave Keon from 60-61 to 65-66. Definitely not bad company to be a part of. Now, my concern is kind of in the middle here. Because I get it, Toronto is first in the league. Auston Matthews is still out there, still doing his thing, and there is no stopping the Maple Leafs train right now, or at least in the foreseeable now, because obviously, as I said, teams can go on losing streaks and teams can start being bad again. But to turn things around so quickly as Toronto has in this young NHL season, it really amps up that level of excitement, because whatever happens in the playoffs, let's face it, the Leafs are going to make the playoffs, right? Whatever happens there, Maple Leafs fans and NHL fans alike are going to be treated with some pretty impressive moments. Either the Toronto Maple Leafs finally go out there and win a playoff series. They finally make it to the second round. They go on their last dance kind of season, as everybody was proclaiming it was at the beginning of the year because of Riley and Campbell and all these guys you had. Sure, circumstantially, it's not really the same because the Chicago Bulls had so many championships and all these great accolades to their name by the time they had their last dance. Toronto doesn't really have that, aside from the Rocket Richard trophies from Auston Matthews. But this team was constructed in such a way that it was supposed to be this good, and it was supposed to be better than we have seen in the playoffs the past few years. If we get the win, Maple Leafs fans have a lot more to cheer about. Steve Dangle is a happier man in the world, and there is just an overall level of excitement brewing around the hockey world because, I'll be honest, even though I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan, if the Leafs go out there and win the Stanley Cup as a last resort team, Ottawa, Vancouver, Calgary, Winnipeg, everybody's eliminated from the playoffs, I would personally be okay with the Canadian Stanley Cup drought ending at the hands of the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now, I get it. A lot of Canucks fans are going to be like, yeah, we're exiling you from the city of Vancouver right here, right now. Bro, you just committed the highest act of treason there is to commit, and you should feel ashamed for yourself. But come on, you know who I am. I go out there, I cheer for my Vancouver Canucks, I get upset when they lose, I get super stoked when they win, but at the end of the day, I'm a fan of the storytelling aspect of this sport. I'm a fan of pro wrestling because of the stories behind the performances. You guys have seen my huge action figure collection. What I have brewing in my room are physical representations of stories told over different mediums, and that's what I absolutely love. Even though I'm a Canucks fan, if the Maple Leafs go out there and they give us a good story to talk about, whether that's a Stanley Cup win finally, or they go out there and they absolutely blow it again in the first round, we're going to be entertained. Either way. So, for Toronto fans, I know we're just over 35% of the way through the season and you guys are on top of the world. You guys had a terrible start, so you don't want to go out there and be too cocky about things, but at the end of the day, you just got to acknowledge this story didn't even start this year. This story started all the way back in 2016 when Auston Matthews was drafted first overall. It started in 2014 when William Nylander was taken. It started in 2015 when Marner was taken. It started when John Tavares signed his contract. It started when they were eliminated year in, year out. Boston, Washington, Columbus, Montreal being the worst one. This story has been going on for quite some time, and if the Last Dance angle is really true, then we have ourselves the ultimate stakes at the end of the line now, don't we? My biggest advice to anybody in Toronto, obviously, I can't really tell the players what to do. They're professional athletes, and I'm just a guy sitting in my computer chair talking about these guys. Just don't blow it. Don't blow it. If you blow it, we'll have more to go out there and laugh at you for. As a Canucks fan, I will be participating in that 100%, but if the Leafs go out there and prove they're more than that, then I will give my props and I will give respect where it is due. Talk to me in the comments, what do you think about the Toronto Maple Leafs going out there and being on top of the world? Auston Matthews getting his touch right back as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.